Welcome to Butterfly Effect Catalyst Stories, a space where we witness real journeys of becoming. Those moments that shape us, that stretch us, and transform how we serve in the world. In these conversations, we will use the phrase butterfly effect catalyst, which is someone who takes heart-centered action and they spark a ripple of extraordinary change, no matter how big or how small. Every moment is an opportunity to create an impact, just as even the smallest movement of a butterfly's wings can create the ripples far beyond what we can see. I am Lindsey Frank, the creator of The Butterfly Within, and I will be guiding our conversation today. And I'm here with my dear friend and changemaker, Lori Kirchheimer. And what you'll hear is her lived experience, her metamorphosis, and the power of how our actions can inspire the communities we serve. So, as you join us today, we invite you to notice what resonates within your journey. May this conversation serve as inspiration to spark that catalyst within ourselves as we open the heart of humanity together. And as we begin, I invite us to pause and to settle in, however that may be in this moment. Just offering a collective breath here. So together we take a collective breath in to inspire us. And a collective breath out to share possibilities with the world. And we are here together with Lori. So welcome, Lori.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
We are grateful to have you. So Lori Kirchheimer is a licensed massage therapist with over 20 years of experience supporting healing and well-being across diverse settings, from clinical and palliative care to corporate events and her own mobile practice. Her work also extends beyond humans with certifications in canine and equine myotherapy. This is reflecting her deep respect for all living beings. Lori is passionate about mentoring future therapists and sharing her love for this path. She's rooted in care, creativity, and connection, and she continues to follow where her heart guides. She's also guided by a desire to take meaningful action and also makes a big difference in the lives that she touches. This is what makes her a butterfly effect catalyst. And what she didn't share in her bio that I'd also like to share is that she is the author of the Charity Graves series for young adults. And Lori also inspired me on my writing journey before I even became an author, and we had a conversation. So before all of this, she was still a catalyst in my life. And she also, it's thanks to her that I got to connect with my illustrator for my second book, who I believe Sam Hintz is your cousin, if
That's
I'm
correct.
exactly right. Like this, and that was all by chance. But she has been an inspiration to me for many, many, many years. And Lori was a part of our very first Metamorphosis experience. And so this is an honor to be with her today, to share her story, to share her impact that she's having in the world. And the last piece is I have a special news to share that last night I opened my email and I got approval from a partner butterfly conservatory. And they will be connecting with me. And so, Lori, you will be the first dedicated butterfly for the Butterfly Effect Catalyst. So
So excited. I actually had a situation in third grade with monarch butterflies that I accidentally bumped the cage and they passed away. So I am really excited to give back. I've been thinking a lot about monarch butterflies lately and how I can help that community too.
yes,
So
so
it's
this I
kind
knew.
of exciting. I was like, well, if it's gonna help the butterflies, I'm getting on Lindsay's show.
Well, it's in honor of the impact that you're having, right? And that's the symbolism of knowing that our small actions are not just small actions, they create massive impact in the world. And so that's what really inspires me about you personally.
Aw.
And especially like being able to guide all of those moments within the journey, even currently, to see how those small moments just continue to propel the work that we do and you do specifically. So I'm looking forward to our conversation together.
You inspire me as well. I mean, the work that you've done with the change, with the butterfly within, and everything you've done with that has been awe-inspiring. And you facilitating that group was really helpful to help me come out of, I guess, come out of my shell or start to speak a little bit more, being okay to use my voice, even though people that know me would say I have the gift of gab, but sometimes it's challenging to say what needs to be said at certain times or to share your story because it's very personal or vulnerable.
Right.
So meeting you has been good for my soul.
Woo. Thank you, Lori. And I'm sharing this for all of us here that we need to be seen, heard, and valued, and how important this is in our lives, in our stories, and especially as heart centered change makers. We often don't want to necessarily be in the spotlight, but I was with a client recently and I
Mhm.
was reminding her that it's really a spotlight. So, like, I'm pointing for those who might be listening to the heart that you are the spot and that the light shines forward from you. So, being able to not be invisible anymore, let your work shine because that is really your heart shining forward. So, here, here we go for
Here we go.
for our time together, and for our listeners. We're basically going to follow the path of the butterfly with some of these questions, from the caterpillar moments and the chrysalis moments to the butterfly and the butterfly effect moments. So you can actually feel and embody the story and notice where your story may be in this experience too. So, Lori, if we jump into that caterpillar story, and thinking about even just a few months ago, and even before that, but especially the last few months, because the movement's been very quick. Before things started to shift, like what did life feel like for you, or like what was that like in that caterpillar phase?
So I remember when you put out that you were going to do this metamorphosis, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just so busy. I don't know that I have time to go. I think it was the night before. I was still debating, and I decided, you know what? I can do this. I'm just going to get on real quick. I know I have a busy day, but I literally put on some clothes, ran downstairs, and I like signed up the very last minute. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for me. I don't do a lot of stuff for me. I'm going to do this. I don't know why I feel like I need to do this, but I'm going to do it. And I didn't even know what I was doing or what the process was. And I honestly, I remember being in that group feeling like, well, everyone has a specific goal on what they want to achieve. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just know that I want to feel like I know I make a difference, but I want to feel like happy and good. And I remember talking to you. I'm like, Lindsay, I'm falling behind. I'm doing this wrong. And you're like, no, you have to trust the process. I'm like, I need more. I need more guidance. I need more structure. Like I need it clear cut for me. But I remember just feeling like I'm doing a lot, but I felt overwhelmed. I felt tired and drained and stretched really thin. I liked what I did, but I just was like, why am I always feeling like tired and overwhelmed? And I go to therapy and I go to different resources because I'm trying to like become the best version of myself for my daughter, for myself, my family, but especially like for my daughter. And so, and I think you said to me, why does something have to be wrong with you? Like something that you have to fix. And I am that person that feels things and want to fix things or help people. And then I start taking on too much. And then I think we had a moment where you're like, you talked about action steps, but my action steps were like, you need to rest. And I'm like, that's the opposite of action. Like, it's like the pause that you've been talking about recently. I'm like, but that's inaction. And they're like, no, it's not. It's an action. It's an actual choice. And like through a lot of things that occurred over our talking during that time and with the group, which was very helpful to help me come into like it's okay to speak. It's okay to use your words instead of just write. It's okay to be like authentic with your words and honest and still respect people. Because like, sometimes it is hard to like, let's say public speak, whether we're good at it or not, to share that message because you're the center of it. And it's not that I want you to see me, but I want you to get the message, right? So even when I was driving to work one day and I'm like, I just want some peace. I just need some calmness and some peace. And I was driving to work and I was talking to you and I missed my exit. Do you remember that? And I was
I
like, shit, I
do.
missed my exit. And you're like, see, this is the universe telling you that it's okay to get to another path and you never know. And I'm like, oh crap. So I missed my exit and I went this other way, but it happened to be like so scenic. Like the way the clouds were, it was so calm, peaceful. It was exactly what I needed. Going to work, I got to work. I had plenty of time to set up and it was really one of those things like there's other ways to do things. So that was really a moment during my in the beginning because I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm doing this because I love Lindsay. I know she's good at stuff. I want to feel better. I still want to make a difference, but I want to like
Mm.
feel good about it and just feel like aligned with myself, right? I wanted what I'm doing because it's really important to me when I do something to make sure that it's with like why am I doing it? Because if it's like I could always spend time with my family, but if I'm going to choose a vocation, it needs to be something I love because I'm basically saying I'm going to be somewhere else away from the people I love. So it better be something worth my time.
Oh, that's like, wow, really beautiful what you just shared there. One was sharing the message that comes from you, making sure that alignment happens, and then from that alignment, making sure that you love it because you're connecting love within that family space to love and what you do, and then to feel that joy and I mean, that's just beautiful when alignment happens. And you already right there illustrated the whole power of trusting the process. Even if there's not a full concrete process, we can know the structure of things that might be there, but the path might lead you somewhere else. But that path that where it leads you to will lead you still where you need to go. And it might be a better path than a prescribed path that may have been there before. So I feel like your share just there illustrated that whole thing beautifully.
I had my therapist that I see now, she said something to me. She used to be a teacher and she's like, I wasn't a good teacher, but I'm good at what I do. But like all the things that happened in her life led up to her doing what she does and doing it well. And like looking back now on, like, I never liked being touched before I was a massage therapist. I wanted to be a teacher. I'm a teacher now for massage therapists, but I never even learned about massage therapy or got a massage until I was in school. And like some of the stuff that happened along the way, I didn't even realize now. I look back and I go, oh. Yeah, that's why that called to me and that brought me here and brought me here. I can't even tell you the amount of times that I've had a conversation where like sometimes you feel like it's like divine almost. You're like, oh, like I might meet a stranger, but whatever happened in that interaction said something that literally changed the trajectory of how I was thinking. And I get that often. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on here, but I know this conversation right now is really important. And then I have to, and especially when certain themes come up. Like there was a time where I think before I did the catalyst with you, I was getting, you need to grow. And I thought it was in a career path, but there was so much going on inside that I actually had to deal with some issues I didn't even know I had, right? Like things started coming up and the growth that I had to happen internally, mentally and emotionally. And then once I was able to kind of work through that, and I said, you know, I'm going to start saying yes to opportunities. And once I did, like things started coming, and my initial response was like, no. And you're like, nope, you said you're going to say yes. So you're going to say yes now. And I'm like, yes, I would love to do that.
Wow, right? And that right there also illustrates that there are catalysts along the way. And why even that word catalyst, that's that spark that creates some kind of action as a result. And so even before becoming a butterfly effect catalyst, right, those ripples that come from us, different catalysts happen on our path. And we don't see it at the time, but through that trust, and that goes back to your favorite thing that I like to say is we have presence. When we become present to the moment, then we can become aware of what we need. Then our purpose happens. Okay, so what is the path I need? Then the possibilities will come, but that one that's a part of the whole time is
Pause.
patience.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yes,
something
the
I'm working
pause,
on. The
but the
pause, the
patience.
patience, the stillness, the waiting.
The waiting,
I don't like it.
right?
Just want to
And so,
get stuff done.
well, and so like from those catalysts that are like, okay, it's time to change, and they keep coming, right? And from what I remember, like it seemed like they would come more and more and kept pushing, right? And the way that you needed to maybe go down towards, right? But we still have to be patient with ourselves in that process. Like, okay, can I be open enough to receive those messages? Can I be ready enough to take that heart centered action that's in alignment with what I want to pursue? Or maybe if I don't know if I want it or not, but it still is a path that is calling me, and to follow that pull of the heart of where we get to go. And then we come into that chrysalis. Right. And so that, I think that's kind of that next phase, right? Like the next phase is that chrysalis and choice. Like, the caterpillar can choose to go into and create its chrysalis, but we also know in that chrysalis it's goopy, its whole
Oh, it's
world
such a mess. Oh my
turns
God.
upside down. The body dissolves into imaginal cells, which is my favorite part, right? Because that's like it's imagining like our vision. But when we're not sure of our vision, we still have to like trust, like, okay, like I know who I am, and that is a part of my vision. And so
Right.
when you were moving into those chrysalis moments, like what did that in between phase feel like?
Uh, I didn't like it. It was so so I had an opportunity to start assistant teaching with the professor who started the massage therapy school. And so one of the reasons I started working there was that I knew she wanted to open up a school. And Jason's been saying for years, my husband, like where else do you go as a massage therapist? Teaching seems like the next logical step. And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, sounds good. Well, I got re-inspired when I started working at this company, which I've been with for 2 years, and I've grown quite a lot in those 2 years. Um, but the opportunity to assist and teach was available, so I got to go into the city and teach a cupping class with with Professor Freeman, um, and get to witness how she taught. And she's just a remarkable human being. My boss is really inspirational, definitely one of my mentors. And when they had the opening for a teacher, I hurried like I was like I had so before I had to create my own class. So I didn't know what to create a class on. So I created a massage class on headaches. I do certain moves in with my clients who have headaches. So I created a course on dealing with headaches, a scalp, neck, and face. And so I taught that to a class. I got the referrals that I needed or the feedback from the students. I sent it into the NCBTMB and I got approved. So during November, that time, right, that we had met or whatever,
Mhm.
I literally was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go apply. I was like pressing buttons. Jason's like, oh, did you call back and see if you could assist and teach? I said, no. He's like, why didn't you send her an email? I'm like, I don't know. I'm nervous. And he's like, send the damn email. Okay. So it's like, okay, done. So do that. And then it was like waiting, and then it was like, okay, I have to renew my license because we need to stay certified. And while I was working on some stuff with the NCBTMB, I had let something else lapse with which messed up something else at work for the VA massage we're trying to get in. And I was like, nothing is going right. Everything is falling apart. I'm dealing with insurance companies. I want to cry and rip my hair out. I'm like, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit. And everyone's like, everyone here knows you're smart and not lazy, Lori. Why do you think that? I don't know, but I've been working on this since like August and I'm getting so frustrated and all this stuff is happening and I'm like, I'm here, I'm trying, and I needed to breathe a lot. I needed to like let go and you got to let go of what you can't control. I hear that a lot. Like, what can you control? And I'm like, I can't. Like, this is all out of my hands. Like when you have a project and you're waiting on someone else, it's all out of your hands, and you're just like, I can't do anything. And I did create my course. I taught my course. I was very nervous. I got a lot of really positive feedback. Um, they opened up a night class. They were going to hire. I said, this is something I've been wanting to do. I know I get nervous with public speaking, but I've always been good at it. My mom coached me. She was in Toastmasters when I was younger and made me do all my presentations before school. She's like, I'm going to show you like, and it was really good practice. So I guess I'm told I have a good presence and good ideas, and I carry myself well, even though I have that initial nervousness. I don't think ever goes away, but I know I can do it. So I went and I applied for the job. They're like, what days do you want? I'm like, I want all of them. I have a whole new group of students. Why wouldn't I just be the teacher for the days that they're going to be there? And they're like, well, this is easy for us. We already know you're reliable, dependable, blah, 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 blah. Like, they just hire me. Like, I don't even know. Like, sometimes you're like, you leave the conversation. I'm like, did I get hired? Like, yeah, it's done. It's done. This is what we're going to do. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let me know when I start. And I love it, but I was so scared. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Right. I have a daughter who needs me and has stuff going on medically. I have a husband who wants to see me on the weekends. I already, how do I juggle all of this? And I'm trying to like think about what my family needs and what my work needs whenever I make any kind of decision, because I don't want to be selfish. I'm like, okay, if I make this decision, this is how it's going to affect the people in my life. So, but the time of waiting and learning to just breathe and let go, like it's really important. And I, because I went through some rough things, like I'm trying to teach my daughter a certain thing, I was going through certain things as well that normally I would have gotten really upset about and thought it was like crap. But I'm like, no, this is a consequence to the action. This is what you're teaching your daughter. It may seem like crap, but this is what happens. And instead of getting upset about it, just go through it. Whether someone likes you or not, like you got a speeding ticket, you sped. Like, why are we going to cry about it? You sped. Now you have a ticket. So take the ticket, do what you gotta do, pay your ticket, and move on with your life. Like, why are we getting so mad about this? Like, it just is. Sometimes it just is, right? When I'm waiting for feedback on a licensing, like that's out of my hands. I can follow up, but they have a process, and I just have to hope that someday it's going to come down the road. Stay on top of it, stay diligent, stay prepared, right? Stay ready. But right, it's like you're waiting with anticipation, right? But it's out of your hands, and it goes back to like allowing other people to feel their feelings or other people to do their job. So like as a mom, I might want to help my daughter, but there's only so much I can do, and there's certain things in her life she has to go through. So part of it is like, even with this job, like I stepped back so Marissa could step up. So my
Mm.
husband could step up with their relationship and with their morning routine. So it helps alleviate my stress. It helps them grow into their themselves as well. Like we're all together, but it's just that chrysalis time where you're waiting. It's confusing, it's messy, but it's you don't know necessarily what's on the other side, but you know you got to go through it,
Yeah,
you know.
and I definitely remember having a couple conversations about, and you also shared a little bit earlier about how even just that self-care piece and
So hard.
and
So
that is an
hard.
action, that is an action, and that was very strong, but that is what helped you, I'm guessing, to stay really connected to your heart during that time, connected to just being very present through that chrysalis time. But were there any other either practices or insights that helped you to stay?
Prayed a lot. I prayed a lot. I did a lot of deep breathing. Um, I had to breathe. Um, there were some other things that were going on that my husband actually made me repeat, like, this is over. You need to say it out loud. This is over. And I needed that too. I needed to be able to release something that had happened in the past so that I could move forward. And I just, and I've been part of a like ACA, adult children of alcoholics and dysfunction. Like it's a group. It was just a helpful group for me. And one of the things is like all you can do, like it's one day at a time, one moment at a time. Sometimes that's all you can do to get through your day. And so it makes sense to be present, like in the now. So it was just like when a million things are hitting the fan, you're like, well, I'm in a massage right now. I'm massaging, and I would just remind myself who I'm working on. I would say their name in my head over and over because they're not just a person. Like I'm with Christine right now. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm here with Christine, and I'm gonna massage Christine for this hour. It's just being present. So when I get home and then my daughter comes to me and says she wants to talk, even if it's late, well, I'm gonna be present. Okay, what's going on? I mean, that's all you can do. And then just like, and then checking in, like, what do I need right now? Because I'm just not the best version of myself when I'm an anxious mess.
Mm.
And so my calm is really important to me. I don't like the feeling I get when I'm raising my voice. So I try really hard to keep myself calm so that I can help others be calm because there's nothing good that comes from being hyper stressed, you know?
Right. And I think that's an
I don't know
important.
if that answered your question. I don't know if
It definitely. I mean, presence. Presence is really a key. Presence is a present. It really is, and it's reminding me of even the heart strategy, right? H is health. How are my body, breath, emotions, and thoughts in this moment? E, environment. Is there anything that I need to change in my environment to help me right now with the decision that I'm making? A is affirmation. What are the thoughts that I need to be sharing with myself right now? What affirmation can I be saying right now to support me through this decision that I'm making? HEAR, R is response. So that's great. We can have those things, but now we have to take action. And then T is how did either me or the experience transform because I followed my heart. So you're basically outlining those different steps of following your heart as a heart-centered change maker, in those moments when we have to be in the chrysalis, in those moments when we have to make different choices and help us along on our path. And so the important part that presence plays and the emotions. And what you had mentioned was how the nervous energy, you're able to even just change, like all what our emotions are is just communication inside ourselves, and they're charges. And then we can see and feel the charge and let that charge kind of move, but then we can also change what that charge is into something that's supportive for us. And so thank you for naming that and for sharing that, in those moments too. But yeah, thank you for sharing that, because all of these different layers are part of the path. And the path of transformation is not an easy journey. And my favorite part of the path, though I say favorite with an asterisk because right, like my favorite part is the chrysalis, because that's where when the transformation happens. But that's also the most challenging part. But that is that middle space between that, the area of once was, the area that's coming forward, but it's that middle in between space that is so valuable and helps us to become who we get to be. And when we do start to see that vision and can really like connect with it, and then to allow the wings to form that will eventually allow us to fly and soar, right? Like from not teaching, and now you are teaching and having this confidence, like you,
this is a big deal.
this is
I'll
a
tell you that later.
listeners, this is a really big deal. And so that really gives us even to this next part of that becoming. So in the phase, right, it's that becoming, that emergence out of like that chrysalis and allowing the wings to start to unfold and be. And so Lori, like what began to shift in how you saw yourself, or like, the growth experiences or challenges or opportunities that have come, like now that you're in this becoming phase, like
I literally was doubting myself a lot. I was like, I don't think I can do this. I did a lot of powwows with my husband, and we tried to get down to the root of what was going on. And what did he say? Like, I'm afraid to fail. Like I need to be perfect. And he's like, that's unrealistic. And he's like, just stop being afraid to fail and just do it because those are all learning experiences. He's like, what's the worst that can happen? And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. So then all of a sudden I was just like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna go in and see what's gonna happen today. And then um I started just being like, okay, this is the next step, yes or no, right? And I started teaching at the school. My boss was saying uh it was an easy decision for her. And I was like, oh, okay. And of course you're nervous, and I'm always worried I'm gonna mess someone up. You know, I'm influencing someone. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But I guess we just show up. And so now I'm teaching a new set of students, right? I am at the massage therapy education school at night, and I am a massage teacher. I'm teaching them the curriculum on what they need to do to pass their licensing exam with the information I have over the years on what I would do. And I have to be encouraging and supportive. And I have a class of very, like, five very intelligent women are my core class, right? Very, very intelligent. I have someone that studied psychology. I have someone who is a medical assistant. I have someone who's like a project manager. Like every person, like biomedical stuff, like it's, I have really intelligent people, and I'm like, oh my God, I am teaching like really intelligent people. And my friend is like, you're also a very intelligent person. And one day I was sitting there because you always want to make sure that what you're saying is coming across to your students. And I have a whole class of people that self diagnosed ADHD. Like it's like, you know, we talk about the squirrels, right? We're like, oh, and then this, and then this, and then just trying to like stay on point. So you know you need to move around, and you need to have the visual, and you need to have a lot of stuff and make it fun. Because when you're in college, it's supposed to be fun, right? This is the stuff you chose to learn. And I'm the person that has to lead this. And like I work at the spa in the morning. I drive to the school and I work at the school in the evening. So like 3 days a week. It's just a very long day. And I'll like eat in between there and set up. But then like I was one day before my students got there, I was sitting at the chair right in front of the vibe board. We have a really cool clinic. It's really cool. Um, and I'm sitting there looking at all of these like diagrams of the body and the muscles and the skeleton, all this medical terminology around me. And I was like, holy shit, I'm here.
Mm.
Like I'm the teacher
Mm.
and I'm supposed to teach all of this. But it was kind of amazing. And not only that, I am so impressed with my students. Um, and they all have like the first day it was one of those like their stories came out. I don't know why I'm a person that people just share their stories with. It happens all the time. It happens in the store. Like random strangers will just come up to me and I'm like, do I have a sign on my head or something? I don't know. But the whole group opened up about a whole bunch of stuff and they got really close. And it was like kind of an honor that they trusted me with their story. And we went through the information because the other professor tells me what we're teaching. And sometimes I'm like, well, I just open the door, I play the lecture, I go through some stuff. And the other day, like, Lori, you don't realize the impact that you have on us. You don't. And I'm like, literally, you see the videos. There's all these different ways to do massage. And I can show you what I do. And you've seen what this teacher does, and you've seen what this teacher does, and you can watch this YouTube video. And now we're going to practice and practice and practice and practice because that's how you're going to get good at it. But and they'll ask me questions, and I'm witnessing them become.
Mm.
Like I'm like I don't feel like I'm really teaching, like I'm there, but they're absorbing and I'm watching their confidence grow from day one. Um, we have an extensive like boot camp schedule and then they graduate out into clinic. Um, and I literally I we had done trades and I'm like, even before boot camp, I'm like, I'd put money on all of you. I'd hire all of you right now. Like I'd put money on all, you're gonna pass. And I went to my boss. I'm like, could we maybe do an early one? And they're like, sure. And I'm like, oh, it's scheduled for this day. And I would say, oh, how do you feel? How's everything going? Do you think, like, let's say hypothetically that my boss came in today, would you be able to test out today? Oh, yeah, yeah, it'd be great. Great, because today's the day. I'm like, what? And right? Like it'd be like a pop. And but I'm like, you're good. You know this. You know prone, you know supine. Okay, you're having a hard time with medical terminology. Just understand the root word. It's basically in the definition. Like, if you need help, I'm here. We covered all the things you can do. Like, have you done a massage face down for 30 minutes? Have you done a massage face up for 30 minutes? Okay, now we're going to put it together. You know the muscles, you know the bones, you know what they do. We've been we've been literally trading for weeks. Now it's time for you to get to clinic. Well, I don't know what to say. One person has English as a second language. I'm like, my boss put it all there on the board. She knows we work at a five-star med spa. I'm like, this is what she wants. It's literally written right there. If you're nervous about passing with her, read that. and do that. And we just simulate, simulate, simulate. And I love it. But there's times like those moments like we were talking about where there's a moment that this was like, wow. There was a moment I was watching my students do trades with flow and with their like the techniques that they prefer. And everyone does things differently. And I'm like, wow, look at them. They look like pros. They look like they could go into a spa today. And I was so like honored to be a part of that journey that it was mesmerizing to me. I almost wanted to cry. Like really just seeing their growth in such a short time. And like and you start to see their strengths. I'm like, oh, this lady, she is the best at stretches. Like she's tiny, but she will make a biker cry if he wants to test her. You know what I mean? And like this one over here, best face massage I've ever like you just see. And so now I have new cohorts coming in May. And so they're fresh. And like even other people, they're like, oh, my students know the terminology. I'm like, you need to know this. And then we're gonna have new people coming in from scratch. And I'm like, I really think people can do anything they set their mind to if they put the effort in. I believe anything's possible, not everything's probable. But I think that with encouragement, like you said, with environment, and sometimes it's the people you surround yourself with, you can achieve great things. You really can. And I want my students to be successful. You're here, you want to be a massage therapist. This is the information we have to get through. And what are you nervous about? Performing? Well, we have heavy hands-on. And we will also teach you other things. And what's really great is like I would say what we learn in our basic massages is like kind of even next level. So I'm like, you can walk in to a hospital, you can walk into any of the industries. We want you to be able to choose where you go or open your own practice. And these women are remarkable people. And I mean, I don't know what the next group's going to be like. I could have a whole bunch of people that are going to question everything I say. And they should. And I said, don't be afraid to ask. Like, I can't read your mind. And maybe someone else is thinking the same thing, but it has been life changing. Working with this company at Fox River Med Spa has inspired me to like, because at one point I let something lapse because like it cost money. I'm like, I'm not really using it. But now I'm just like, anything I learn in massage, I can do at that spa. There's so much freedom. And so now I want to learn everything again. And it just kind of like re-sparked my joy in what I do. And I love watching people be happy. So like even my husband, he's in a completely different industry, and I don't even like it's not my vein, but like when I see his eyes light up and get excited about what he does, that makes me so happy. And that's just people in general. I want to see them light up. Like that's why you're doing what you're doing. You need to light up.
Well, and I need to pause right here with you because one, this is a whole new light that's coming out from you too. And all of this is like, oh my goodness, like you could feel, and all of the listeners here too, or viewers, however you are engaging in this, you can feel Lori's passion, you can feel her light, and you can feel all of this. And Lori, if I were to ask you, I don't know, even a year ago, would this confidence be coming through? Like you,
He's nervous, No, I'm terrified a lot of the time.
yeah,
But
like
like when I have good people
stepping
that support me.
in.
I have good people. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I guess at some point you're just like, whatever, this is what we're gonna do now.
Yes. Well, and you brought up the importance of support, the importance of community, the importance of choice, right? Like even from you choosing to engage in the metamorphosis experience, like that then catalyzing all these things, then and then all the other supports that you've had to then magnetize to you. And during the metamorphosis, we shared about the Newton's third law of motion with with the balls. I'm actually, of course, they're always here. Hold up just in case these for those I don't know if you're able to hear, but they're the ones with the little shiny balls that when you like go it's an equal and opposite reaction. So, like, by you even taking one small action, it allows that ripple to happen and with patience. And so, from you, basically, what you've shared about your students is how I'm feeling with you in this
Aw.
moment of your becoming, and to have been a part of that, too, a part of your support network that you have, has been incredible. And just to see and feel your absolute passion and joy and being in that teaching space, it's just so amazing to see now that ripple, and how small but how big. Like, being a massage therapist, like, you literally get to help people alleviate pain, and then they then ripple out to who they get to be, and now you are creating these next level massage therapists in the capacity, in this world, and they get to be change makers in their own space too. So, like, how would you describe this version of yourself that you've become now in this journey?
I'm still very emotional. Um, I'm happy. Uh, I'm present. I'm happy. I really just love what I do. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I feel fulfilled. Feel fulfilled. I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to do. I think there's still more. I feel more coming. I feel like this cycle that you talk about, I think once you arrive, let's say it starts again.
Yeah, you
Let's
never
say,
actually arrive, right?
right.
The
But
next
I
level.
do feel, I feel like I've expanded in a way that I can help people. I'm still a present mother. I still make my daughter a priority. Um, and I don't know. My husband, I think, said, you hold yourself back, but I guess I was afraid to leap. But I'm like, now I'm here,
Yeah.
and I don't know what it looks like next, but I'm just happy. I'm very happy. I've already been told by my students now I'm a mentor. I'm like, you can't just throw that on me. Like, you've adopted us. It's it. We're done. I'm just informed. Like, you're gonna mentor me. Okay. Send me an email, whatever you need. I got you. But yeah, if I can make somebody's day like better and I can help inspire someone else, I want to, because I know how important it is to have encouragement, especially when you're younger. Sometimes we don't get that. And so I want to be that person.
Hmm.
But my life is very enriched. And I'm very happy. And I'm very blessed. And I'm very thankful. And my life has changed immensely. And I even told my boss, like, you've changed my life. And she's like, no, you did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah. I think that's the important message there, that even within the supports, it's not someone else that does it for you. It's you.
And sometimes I need people to show me things that I don't see in myself. Lindsay.
Well, and I have this other question, but you basically like infused it. But it's just such a beautiful question that I'm going to just put into the space, and maybe something else will come from it too. But this butterfly effect now, right? So, hearing from your caterpillar journey, how that part of the journey felt, into the chrysalis part of the journey, then to this like becoming, and now that ripple effect, where it says here, this question is like, where are you seeing the impact of your transformation ripple into your life and others? But you're saying yourself, you're saying your family, you're saying your supports, your students, your boss, like everywhere, right? And like, and just, you've been guided. This other part was about like, where have you been guided to serve? But all of this, like, you've been guided to serve through your being, right? And so I guess the question now is also, what does now being a butterfly effect catalyst mean to you now?
It really means being present and just showing up and doing your best every day. Try to be positive. Try to be there for people. I mean, sometimes those little moments sitting at a coffee table with your friend, they don't know, you don't know what they need, but you're there. Like, just whether it's your client, whether it's your student, whether it's a friend or a family member. I mean, it's important to take care of yourself, but that helps you to continue to help the people you love. So whatever is in your heart, or that you're passionate about, I think that you should explore that and see what you can do. We always say no one can do like there's all this horrible stuff happening in the world and we talk about it and we go, "Oh, you can't do anything about that. Let it go." Okay, I can't do anything about that, but I can do this.
Mm.
This is what I can do. What can I do? What can I do? I think that's the biggest, what can I do?
Mm.
Leave your room better than you find it,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Leave the room better than you find it. Leave the world better than you find it. Hopefully when I pass, like I leave the world better than I found it.
Mm. That's beautiful. Yeah, and I'm going to echo that too. Like even literally leaving a room or no matter where you are better than how you found it, which I learned in Girl Scouts, which is I'm wondering
Right.
you being a Girl Scout leader, right? Like that literally that's an act of service no matter where you are. And so maybe that is also an invitation for the listeners today is just leave a place better than how you found it so that we can collectively leave the world better than how we found it. And is there anything else that you would like to share? The final question that I have for you, but you can take it in any direction you wish. But for someone who may be earlier on in their stages, maybe in their caterpillar journey, like what would you want them to know?
Can't believe I'm saying this because someone said this to me and it sounds so stupid. Um, you don't have to know all the answers to start. You don't have to have the whole plan. It's good to plan, but sometimes you just need to start and just trust the process.
I don't know who would say something like that.
You gotta learn to have some faith in yourself.
That's right.
You gotta be able to trust that things are gonna be okay one way or the other. Either
That's
you're
right.
gonna learn something from it or you're gonna succeed. And sometimes you end up in a place even better than you thought.
Mm,
And you don't even know if you don't try.
that's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And just start.
And
Ooh.
don't worry about what other people think. I'm
Don't
talking to
worry about
myself. You got to do what you got to do. Stop worrying what other people are going to think of you. If you got something that you need to share, like I hear all the time, my book could be somewhat like if I ever write my personal story, which is going to be very hard. This is why I write fiction. It's easier if I say the truth. It's very hard. But you never know, like what you go through is going to be somebody else's survival guide, right? Someone, maybe 10,000 people don't want to hear what you have to say, but somebody out there went through what you went through, and your path is their survival guide, you know? So
it.
at least they know they're not alone. You never know. You could save a life.
That's beautiful. And that is what a butterfly effect catalyst does. That is what us as heart centered change makers do. So, wow. So just start and
Start.
share your story and support the world. And together we get to create that change. So thank you so much for sharing and sharing your journey, sharing your becoming, sharing with us. Where can people who want to continue to connect with you and follow your story, like where can they find you?
I mean, I try to keep things, I think, relatively personal, but if they really want to connect with me, whether they want encouragement or they just want to see what I'm up to, I guess they could follow me on Facebook for Lori Kirchheimer. That's kind of personal where my Girl Scout stuff is or my motivational stuff. LA Kirchheimer on Facebook, that's my author page. I do have, I should probably restart my YouTube videos again. I'm doing some of the stuff for teaching and massages and we'll see. I don't know. I want to do some goofy stuff with my kid. She keeps telling me I need to promote my book and she's mad at me. I haven't published the fourth one yet, but you can only do so much with the time that I
Yes,
have.
and hold up. We have to call for. We're not going to should, right? Because we're not shoulding ourselves, but we can invite this as an opportunity, right? We can invite it as an invitation of maybe that's the next step on this journey. Maybe that's the next step of visibility. Maybe that's the next step of having that impact and ripple out because now you can reach more people that maybe you haven't before. So I look forward also to following those other channels in their own catalyst too. So,
Okay.
and I will definitely put all of those contact links and everything for people to find you too. So, Thank you. Yes. And for those who are engaging with us today, if something in this conversation resonated with you, trust that. Just like what Lori shared, like when you feel something, just trust that guidance. If you felt a pull, trust that guidance. These stories are not just about the person sharing them, they are reflections about what is possible for all of us and each one of us in our path. So, I will mention here that if you are feeling called to step more fully into your becoming, you can explore the upcoming guided metamorphosis experiences that I'll be guiding. And you can find that information at thebutterflywithin.me/metamorphosis. And my butterfly wish for you, all of us, myself included, today and always, is to open our hearts, awaken our wings, and become a butterfly effect catalyst. Thank you all for being you, and thank you for joining us. And thank you, Lori, for everything
It was my
today.
pleasure. It was my pleasure. Thank you for helping me build my confidence. I definitely recommend this journey. The group,
Thanks,
the
Lori.
group was great. The group was great. I needed it.
Thank you. We all do. Thank you.